Yes. All right, guys. So welcome to Success University. So I'm going to do a quick roll call, little check marks. All right, so I got Nika and Cliff. See you both. Where are you? There we go. Awesome. Keitra. Hello, Keitra. And Martina. Awesome. Val, there you are. And Fred. Fantastic. Katrina. Where are you? There we are. And Debbie, Ryan, Rochelle, Briston, welcome back to the great state of Kansas. And Ryan, did I already say you? I'm not sure. Darren, and Morgan, and Levi, Nika/Munville, and we got Amy on the telephone. All right, guys, so we are going to go ahead and kick off the call. Excuse me. Mike's going to join in. Oh, right now. He was doing bedtime tonight, so. Hi.
Hey, guys.
Okay, cool. So let's start off by sharing homework from last week. So that was reading chapters 9 through 12 in the book. So who would like to share a takeaway from last week or this week or today, whenever you read it? Anyone?
I'll go.
Awesome.
I just jotted a few things down. In chapter 9, it was talking about just the love in your heart, and just how I like how you have to think about the people that you're bringing on with you as their heartbeats, not just numbers. And so that kind of spoke to me. And then I love that it says, love the failures for what they can teach me. So to embrace your failures because you'll learn from those. So that was good. And then I think this is from chapter 10. It's like, I will persist until I succeed. I will win. With each victory makes the next struggle less difficult. And so for, the first time you hear no's, it's very hard, but the more you hear them, it's just, okay, thanks, and I think one of the hardest things that we talked about is how to separate home and family. Because since a lot of our businesses worked from at home. And so it's kind of even hard for me to stop thinking about how to promote my business when I am at home. So, and also I work my daycare at home too. So all my businesses are here. So that's something I need to work on. So those are my takeaways.
Wow, that's really good. I love how you shared that, people aren't numbers, they're heartbeats, because that's actually a portion that we're going to do tonight on the call. So cool. Kind of led into one another. That's fantastic. And you said embrace your failures, which is really awesome. Yes. Failing sometimes or no's are uncomfortable and they make us feel uncomfortable. And we're like, what is this? But it really does help you, succeed. It really just builds that up, and you get better and better at failing almost as it happens. And so that's powerful. Awesome.
Yeah, that's really good. And so Keitra, Cliff, and I can't remember if anyone else was there last night. We had this same conversation about success and failure, and how most people think of themselves and here, and success is this way and failure is this way. So if they're going down their path and they start running into failure, they think they're going the wrong way. So they change their paths, because obviously if failure is this way, success has got to be this way. But so they picture themselves in the middle, with success one way, failure the other. But when in reality, you're on one end and success is on the other end and failure is right in the middle. So it's in the same direction as success. You just have to get through those failures in order to reach it. So it's just crazy how it all comes full circle, because we were just having this conversation last night as well. So great takeaways, Debbie. Thank you for sharing.
Awesome. Anybody else want to share from the book?
So I got from, I think it was chapter 9, always will I dig for reasons to applaud, never will I scratch for excuses to gossip. And if I have no other qualities, I can succeed with love alone. So I really like that, because of just being able to applaud what everybody else is doing, and as long as you're showing your appreciation and your love towards everyone else, it will come back to you.
That's great. Absolutely. So good. And we applaud a lot in Herbalife, right? Like we applaud for results, whether that's product or business. We applaud for when things don't go right, it's no problem. And there's still a little bit of celebration in that. And that's a really big piece that even when, somebody comes in the business and they've been in the business 2 days and they fly right past me, it's like, I need to congratulate them because they did the work to do so, and so it's like, okay, great job, and just show that gratitude towards them. So it's fantastic. Awesome, Martina. Okay, what was the other piece? Okay. Do you want to share this part?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So then something we also ended the call with last time was to be prepared to share about my team versus our team, my downline versus our organization, and then my club versus our club. So just language that we use. Does anyone want to share their thoughts or maybe things that they changed between last Success University to now, or things they noticed? Anyone? Everyone's so quiet.
I'll go.
Yay, great, Martina.
So my whole view on that is when we're saying mine, it means we have possession over it. So if I'm saying my club, my team, my everything, it's saying that I own that. And with the way that Herbalife is and the way that all of our structures are, it's more of a team and it's an ours. So it's our club. It's like I work with you and Mike. I work with Keetra. I don't work for you guys. I don't necessarily work for Herbalife. So it's ours. And I don't know. That's just how we kind of started it off.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. And yeah, even sharing that Herbalife is all of ours. Like the only reason Herbalife is around is because of the distributors, right? Like the distributors are the team in Herbalife, and then it's made up of the corporate staff and all of that. But if it didn't have distributors, then there wouldn't be Herbalife because the products wouldn't have anywhere to go. There would be no stories to share. There would be nothing. And so, Herbalife is your business. It's our business. It's what we do. There's a big old Herbalife team, and then there's, smaller ones like people we know.
Because I feel like with the mine, it's that employer mentality. So, yeah, it's like all it is our name is on the paperwork. Other than that, we're not anything else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and as you start bringing on a team, you have to be really selective with your language. Even when this may sound simple, but like if you bring someone new to the STS and how you introduce them to somebody, like introducing them as, hey, this is my new guy, or this is a new guy on my team. Like that, just like you were saying, Martina, like that, just even if it plants a seed of like, okay, I don't belong to anybody. Like you don't have possession over me. Like maybe most people, it's not a big deal for them to hear that, but some people it might. Like you just have to be really careful in how you language things and how you talk to people. Like, I'm never a fan of hearing people say, hey, this is my team. I want to introduce you to my new guy. Well, why do you have to use that my? No, it's, hey, let me introduce you to Marcus, the new guy on the team. Or, hey, it's his first time here. It's her first time here. Like you don't have to show any possession over them. And most time it boils down to an ego or just not being aware. One of those two things is usually the two reasons. So that's good. Anyone else want to share their thoughts on that?
Okay, guys. Fantastic.
We got a quiet group tonight.
It's the weather. The weather change got us going real crazy. I'm just kidding. I blame everything on the weather. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Babe, how do I? Okay, here we go. And then just that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Awesome, guys. So we're going to go ahead and get started for tonight. Like this, right?
Yep.
And then slideshow. I'm always learning and growing. As you all can see, Michael is definitely the technical side of us, but I'm learning and growing, which is awesome. Okay. So last week we had Alexis come on and it was fantastic. And she did the personality gems, which are really exciting because it starts to kind of open up, you discovering more about yourself things that you have, you're really strong in, your strengths, and things that you can work on. And that kind of helps you develop as a person, but it also helps you communicate not only in business, but in your personal life, with your kids, with your friends, with your family, as we work with clients and with other teammates. And so we kind of got a glimpse of different personalities that our team is made up of, which is really exciting. So you can see what different things motivate us. And just like Debbie shared, which I think this is the most important thing about what we do, like you can learn about the products, you can learn about the marketing plan, you can read stuff, you can study the catalog, you can watch videos, but this right here is the make or break in our business, because this is either what's going to take you up or bring you down. And that's building relationships. Because just like Debbie shared, like we are not numbers. Us as a team, we're not just some numbers with some distributors who produce volume, right? Our clients are not numbers of, how many volume points did my client B order last month? That's not what they are. They're real people and they have heartbeats. And as humans, we need relationships. We need human connection every single day. And so for a lot of people, they're missing that in their lives. And so not only with Herbalife do we help people get amazing results, but we're also building amazing relationships. And so this is something that we, continue to work on every single day, is really ask yourself, like, how well am I at building relationships? So let's say with someone that I may already know, how can I take our relationship to the next level? Just learning more about each other. And then also building a relationship with a person that maybe I just met at the bar, right? Like, rate yourself from 1 to 10, 1 being like, nada, I ain't got nothing. And then 10 being like, I'm the best relationship builder in the whole wide world, right? Like rate yourself and really look at that, because that's going to help you in your business, because the products are amazing. The marketing plan is amazing, but people need relationships. That's why they're in this business. That's why I came into Herbalife, because I needed adults to talk to, right? Like I love human beings and I want to talk to people every single day. And so really think about building relationships. So working with a client, when you very first meet them, it may be a casual conversation or it may actually be a wellness profile, but learning about them, right? Like you should know at least 2 or 3 things about them. Their family, their occupation, what do they do for a living? Recreational, what's one fun thing they like to do? Do they like to go to concerts? Do they play baseball on a co-ed team? Do they love volleyball? What things do they like to do? And so what that helps is building a relationship with a brand new person. They don't know you yet, but they start to trust you just because you're interested in them. Oh, guys. Hey, guys, it's going to storm. Yay! That was very surprising.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Cool. But you're interested in them, their goals, and in their life. And that's not only going to help them succeed, but that's going to help you be a better coach. Because I'm going to let you guys know in business, we take a step and sometimes we fail, right? Sometimes we hit rock bottom. But when you don't hear from a client, or when a client goes somewhere else, the part that they missed from you was a real relationship, because the products are phenomenal. If you take the products like you're supposed to, they're going to get you a result. But sometimes that person is missing the relationship. Like instead of asking them, hey, have you had your shake today? Maybe on a Monday you ask him, hey, how's your dog Susie? I saw she got surgery on her foot, right? Like a real conversation. Oh, how's Emma? I saw she's going to start kindergarten next year. And guys, social media is a big part of that. Like you could see somebody post about their dog and then text them about it, right? Like you don't even have to remember anything. It's just there for you. And so staying connected, really building relationships, because that's what people are looking for. And then you'll start attracting those people to you. So now you have clients who are getting results. And so then they tell their friend, yeah, so I met with Sammy today and I'm down 10 pounds. And she also remembered about my dog, which I thought was super cool. And then all of a sudden you have a referral because her friend wants to talk with someone too, right? So really learning about people. Guys, we are in a people business. We rise and fall with people. And it's something really important to remember, not only for ourselves to develop, but to teach other coaches. Because different personalities, like we learned last week, like Mike and I can speak on this because we've experienced. Mike was not naturally a relationship building personality. Like, he's a Ruby, and it was not something that came natural to him. So it was like, hey guys, go get 10 clients. And that's what he would say, right? Like, and he's well developed now. I'm very proud, very, very proud of his relationship building skills now, right? But it's just not something he would naturally do. Now me, I would probably ask you about your dog first before I ask you about, hey, how's your 10 clients coming? So I'm like the polar opposite. And that can be good or bad in both instances, but we needed to work on building relationships, right? So him learning more about a person, right? And that's just, it wasn't natural for him, but now he started to develop and he has those conversations. And then me, I don't talk too much about your dog. Now we talk about your business, you know? And so just learning those things, but really focus on building relationships. Being inside of a nutrition club, you have new partners that are coming into your club. And sometimes you don't know these people. Like Fred, I didn't know Fred, right? I'd seen him in the club a couple times. I've served him, but I didn't know him, right? And so he came in, he's a brand new partner, and now I need to build a relationship with him to the best of my ability and really work on that and focus on that. Because we both know how to make shakes. We both know how to serve tea. But if him and I don't have a relationship, well, that's a really awkward 6 hours if we work together, right? I mean, that's just uncomfortable. And then our vibe is off in the club and you guys are like, what is going on back there, right? So really focus on building relationships, finding things out about people. What are their goals in their business with their results? What are they really looking to do? The easiest way to build a relationship, guys, is to ask questions over and over and over. Every time you see a person, ask them a question. It can be the same question. It can be about the dog over and over and over again. But sooner or later, you'll find other things to ask them about because you'll learn, right? I mean, and just ask them a question. Compliment them. It'll open the conversation. Hey, Cliff, I love that shirt. Oh, thanks, girl. And then he'll elaborate, right? And then I can ask him a question, you know, like, oh, where'd you go today? Oh, I went out to Phillips, I think was the place he visited or something like that. And then it just builds conversation. Building relationships is the name of the game, guys. People are the name of the game. If there are no people with no relationships, I have no clients, no distributors, no team, and there's no money. The people are number one always. You surround yourself with people and build amazing relationships, your business will flourish. It will happen. You'll build your skills along the way, and it'll happen. People are number one, guys. And if you ever are wondering, if you take a moment and really think, I had to do a self-talk with Sammy Ropp, because I went from 25 clients to 5. I'm like, where did all these people go? Oh my gosh, what happened? Right? And it was because I didn't have a relationship with them. I didn't work on our relationship. I didn't ask them questions. I didn't do the things I said I was going to do, which broke their trust, which they weren't confident in what I could help them do anymore. And sometimes you do. Sometimes you have to have that real talk with yourself. If I'm losing people, why am I losing people? It's not the marketing plan. It's not that distributor over there in that place. Why did Sammy Ropp lose clients? And have a real talk with yourself. Is there anything you want to share about building relationships?
Oh, that's good.
Okay, cool. So one thing that we learned was called form. So you spell out the word, which now I can't remember what the M is, so maybe you can help me when I get there. But the first one is family. So I'm going to form a person. So family, occupation, recreational, and M is for, there's a real word. Do you remember what it is? I'm going to say motivation. So what motivates them to get their result, or what motivates them to build their business? That might not be the right word, but I just made it up. So we're going to keep it. And I'll ask Alexis tomorrow. But you should know those 4 things about a person within like 2 conversations with them. And guys, they may not know anything about me, and that's fantastic. And that's okay. Like, I don't need to spend 20 minutes talking about myself. They're the focus, right? So family, occupation, recreational, and motivation. You should know those 4 things about every client that you have, every distributor that comes on your team who's open to sharing with you, every preferred member, every partner in your club. You can even use it across the bar. You can use it everywhere you go in life. Relationships. It's always about the other person you're talking to. Always. I think that's all I want to share. Does anyone have any questions about building relationships? And if it makes you uncomfortable right now to build new relationships with people who you don't know, it's no problem. Just ask questions. And you don't have to go real deep. It doesn't have to be like, well, what personality gem are you? It doesn't have to be anything like that. Just simple things. You know, where do you work? Cool. How long have you worked there? Awesome. What'd you have for lunch today? Oh, I had a shake. Okay, great. I'll see you tomorrow. And that's all. But those little questions, you showing interest in them, they're going to come back and see you. Even if you're so nervous that all you could say is, where do you work? They're probably going to come back and see you just because you asked them one question. So it's really powerful, guys. Relationships. We are in the business. People. People want connection. You give them connection. You give them a relationship. You got them for probably most of their life. That's what I like to think. Like, I like to think we're all going to be 80 together. Like, that's what I envision, just so you all know. But yeah, guys. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to hand over to Mike, this guy right here next to me. And he's going to
All right.
share with you. Oh,
All right.
Before you take
I'm
over,
close to his hand up.
you said family, occupation, motivation, and what was the 4th thing?
Recreation. So FORM. Form. I'm going to form someone. Sounds a little weird when I put in a sentence like that, but just helps you to remember what types of things to ask someone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, cool, guys. Anyone have any input on that? Okay, wonderful. Yeah, and, you know, Sammy's absolutely right. I mean, when I first started in this business with her, like when I finally came here and said, all right, I'm going to help you and let's do this. At that time, we were learning the 3-day trial system. And I just really wish I would have taken to heart when Brad and Alexis and Ben were telling me that I needed to work on myself. I had too big of an ego to think that I needed to. But at that time, it was a 3-day trial system was like what we were doing out of our homes. And so it was, how many trial packs can you get out? Well, I could get trial packs out like that. Like, there was one month where we got over 50 or 60 trial packs in 1 month. But I didn't develop a relationship with a single person. So I really wish I would have taken to heart what our coaches were telling us and would have really worked on myself so that I could have even developed relationships with half of those people. You know, like, so it's crucial. It is the foundation of what we do. We are in the people business, and building these relationships and learning about people is 100% what we do.
I do have one more. Sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
So the gems are really something to study and learn because it's going to help you with language, to be aware of who you're talking to. So maybe how they receive things. So for example, like Martina is a pearl, and I knew that about her when I met her. Not that I label people, like that's not it, but just learning how people communicate. So for her, I would always talk about how Herbalife helped me feel better. It helped me with more energy. I felt like I could do more things around the home, like just using a lot of feeling words because that's her personality, right? And then, but if I was talking to like a sapphire, right? So let's say, I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but if I'm talking to a sapphire and I'm trying to build a relationship with them, I'm not going to talk about how I feel. Like when I lost 10 pounds, I really wanted to cry. Guys, Sapphire would not be excited about that. It'd be more like, girl, when I lost 10 pounds, let me tell you, like I put on this red dress and I was running around. I felt so good, right? And just you play into their personality. And into a Ruby, guys, if you're talking to a Ruby, I'll give you a really, really big secret. All you do is let them talk. Like let them talk. Like a Ruby, 15 minutes, they talk about, like just let them talk about anything. It doesn't even be about Herbalife. Let them talk and you got them like that. We're like, dang, this girl, she let me, 15 minutes. And they do, like they, you know, when a peacock gets real fluffy, right? And like their feathers come out, that's what happens with the Ruby. And it's great, guys, because then you got them. And they don't even know. They're like, oh, hey, you know? And so learning the
Rubies
person.
don't do that. Okay.
They do say that inside. I know they do. Darren will give me a what for that. I can't see his face right now, but I'm sure that's what he's saying. But, you know, speaking someone's language and learning that over time. And it's just something we developed. And, you know, Alexis kind of spoke on that about being a diamond. So being able to speak to all the gems in their language. But it does help with relationships, guys. Because if I can get to your level, you're like, yeah, I understand her. If I come at a Ruby and I'm too feely, they're like, Michael will do it sometimes. He'll be like, what? I don't understand what you mean. I feel like today I told him I felt something. He's like, what? They don't understand. It's just not their language. And that's okay. Like, it's great. We are all us. We are all ourselves. I'm Sammy Rock for a reason. So really just take personalities and languaging and speak to someone in their language, whatever that is. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Sorry.
Awesome.
It just popped in my head.
Okay, so now we're going to, with all of what Sammy just mentioned and talked about in the forefront of your mind, we're going to take this and we're going to talk about recruiting, okay? So a little bit of a transition, but keep in mind, like everything we talk about here, the building of relationships is the foundation even in recruiting, okay? And so I'm not going to talk so much tonight about like how to recruit. I'm really going to talk a little more about like concepts within recruiting and what makes someone a good recruiter and how you can recruit people to your business and things like that. So first and foremost, like we talk about all the time in Herbalife, but I think even within the team, like, you know, selling shakes, selling plans, doing wellness profiles, that kind of thing, like people are willing to learn that. Like, yeah, let's learn how to do that. And they get excited about that. But you bring up the word recruit, and all of a sudden everyone kind of shudders into their corner and they're like, they think you're saying a bad word. But know that recruiting is not. It is not a bad word. But I want you to think about something. So who recruits? So guys, literally everybody in society recruits. Businesses recruit when they need people. And this is funny too. So if I was to ask you as a brand new distributor on the team, hey, I need you to bring on 3 distributors this month. I need you to recruit 3 people to come work on our team with our team this month. Like most of us would get kind of weird about it and kind of anxious and everything else. But if you worked for me, if Salina Nutrition was a traditional business and you were working behind the bar and I came to you as your employer and said, hey, Cliff, man, when you're behind the bar, I need you, we're short-staffed. I need you to be asking people as they come in if they're looking for extra income because we're looking for people. Like you wouldn't have any hesitation. You'd be like, oh, okay. And every person that walked through that door, you'd let them know, hey, we're short-handed here. We need help. Do you know anyone that needs a job? Like, I don't know where that mental shift happens, but it does all the time. So businesses recruit. Churches recruit. We had a local church knock on our door a couple of weeks ago, and they gave us a pamphlet, and they walked super nice and were telling us about their church and that they're reaching out to the community to invite more people to their church. And they walked away, and I closed the door and I looked at Sammy and I said, they do the same thing we do. Mm-hmm. Like they literally do.
They brought us a flyer to our front door, guys.
Yeah, they were flyering homes.
Invite us to their community. Like, what? And
then I kicked myself in the butt because I was like, why didn't I recruit that guy to my business? If he's willing to go door to door, like he needs to be on my team, on our team. So churches recruit, obviously military recruits, colleges recruit. Everybody, guys, everybody recruits. Everybody does. So don't shy away from it. Don't like think it's a bad word. Like don't get weird about it. It's just a part of life and everything that we do. Who saw the new Avengers over the weekend?
No spoilers.
Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it.
So if Marvel came to you and said, hey, if you can bring 5 people to come watch this movie that you just watched and you loved, how hard would it be to find 5 people to go to see that movie? And then Marvel doesn't pay you, but you do it every day. I just got these new shoes. I love them. And then people go buy them. Oh, I just got this shirt and I love it. And, people will go buy it. Like we do it anyways. You're just not being compensated. Now all of a sudden a company offers you an opportunity to be compensated for promoting something you love and you get weird about it. So again, we're talking more about concepts of recruiting, not necessarily like the how-to. And we'll dive into the how-to at a later time, but just concepts here. Okay, so.
Did you miss your people?
Huh?
There were some people there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Skipped one.
Like, there was a
Completely
picture of
skipped the
people.
slide. Okay, so what are your beliefs, guys? So I really want to dig into this a little bit, and I would like for you guys to actually chime in here. Like, let's start with the first one. What are your guys' beliefs about the industry that we work in, which is direct sales and multi-level marketing? What are your beliefs about that?
It's the best industry in the world.
Okay, awesome. What else?
It's never going to go away.
Best industry, never going to go away.
Can't be replaced by a computer. Can't be replaced by a robot, a machine. It's always there as long as we work the piece to make it there and believe within our heart that it helps people. If you don't, you're in the wrong gig or for the wrong reasons.
That's good. That's good.
I'll shut up now.
No,
good.
that's perfect. What other beliefs do we have, guys? Be honest. Like, just be transparent with us. What are some of your beliefs about our industry?
Your success is completely dependent upon your willingness to make it happen, whether you do or don't.
So true.
That's powerful.
Anyone hanging on to any negative beliefs?
Oh,
That it's a pyramid.
that's what I was about to say, Debbie. That we're all a pyramid scheme.
Mhm.
Dang, that creeper negative and
Yeah.
get out of here.
And that you have to
I
invest a
love-
lot of money.
Oh, that's good.
I love that pyramid scheme one, and I love getting that because I will tear that apart.
And we'll get to that. I'm excited to hear about that.
Hey, I was gonna say, so when someone is like, well, it's a pyramid scheme, I don't want anything to do with it, like, how do you explain that to them?
I have them explain it to me. I say, oh, that's awesome. What do you know about pyramids? And then let them explain it to me because they have no idea what they're talking about. And then once they explain it to me, I let them know that whatever job they're working has the same structure.
And that inside of Herbalife, no matter what, you're never limited by the person who brought you in. So, for example, we were sponsored by a couple who we are now above and make 5 times as much as they do. And I always tell people that there's no limitations. If you come in and like Ryan said, you work hard and you grind, you'll make more money than me. That's just the way it works out. You're never held at your position.
Right.
And then
And if someone comes at you with that, never go back with the intent to change their mind. Their mind's already made up. But just let them explain to you. That's awesome. Oh, okay. Well, what do you know? What's that mean? What do you know about pyramids? And then just let them explain it to you because 99% of the time they have no idea what they're talking about. As soon as you ask them, they're like, oh, that's what I heard someone say. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so what are your?
Oh, and Amy shared that that people are pushy in our industry in multi-level marketing.
Okay, and how about what are some of our beliefs about Herbalife?
That our products taste amazing.
Tastes amazing.
Yes.
Get great results.
Great results.
Awesome.
I love the Herbalife community.
Community is powerful.
Okay. And
Sustainable business, being around 38 years. Think they know what they're doing.
And it's sad that it's considered a meal replacement, but a fast food burger is considered a meal. I believe that was Brad that said that in Tulsa.
yeah.
It's good. Somebody else want to share? That I saw Mike move. And Amy said that people are fun and nice. Amen, sister.
Okay. What are some of your beliefs about we've talked about some of the products. So, and I just wanted to like kind of dig in because if you have any other beliefs, like to analyze that, like what do I really believe? Okay. Okay, so with belief in mind and knowing what you believe, understand like even in recruiting, action is everything. And then the kind of action that you do will determine your result. So what's behind that action, guys? So if action is everything and nothing happens without action, and so what determines my action? A belief system. A belief system determines your action. People don't hear what you say, they hear what you believe. And this is what I mean by that. So you may be saying these things, this business is amazing, the opportunity is limitless, you should join our team, I can help you create supplemental income. But what if that's not truly what you believe, then really what they're hearing is this business is hard, I don't think I can really build a business, it costs money to sign up and the products are expensive, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, and I'm just asking you to like really challenge what you believe. Really spend some time and think about what you believe about this business. What do you really believe? Do you really believe that this business is amazing? Or is there a part of you that doesn't? Do you really believe that the opportunity is limitless? Or is there a part of you that thinks only a certain percentage of people can do that? Like, really dig into that, because your action is determined by that.
And something really important is that we're new in the business. Of course, we don't know what we're doing, right? Like, I don't know anything about these shakes yet, right? Like, I know that about myself, but as long as you continue to grow, so going to events or plugging into your sponsor, your coach, asking questions all the time, you're starting to mold that belief into something positive. And that's why we go to events, guys, because being out in the outside world, of course, people are going to come to you and be like, man, that business must be really hard. You got to talk to a lot of people and make a lot of shakes to make a lot of money. People will come at you, and like, they'll say things like, oh, that product's too expensive. And they'll say that to your face. And if we receive too much of that, it gets into our head, it gets into our mind, it gets into our beliefs. But then we got to just push it back out and know in our hearts, in our head, what our beliefs are. The products are amazing. They're totally affordable. They're budget friendly, right? And plugging into events allows you to push that negative back out. You receive confidence, you receive belief because you're surrounded by people who have those same beliefs and who have done it for a long time, and you see those things, and that'll help you build those things. So if you're sitting here and you're like, well, I do believe those things, no problem. That just means we need to grow and learn more and plug into more events, and that will help you change over time. Like, I mean, of course, we all get funky in our head sometimes, but that's why we have a team who are full of great people who help you get out of that funky place, whatever that place might be.
Right. And that's why I ask you to be real about it, because it's okay to have those beliefs. If you're believing some of these negative things, that's okay. That just means we need to reprogram your belief system a little bit. And how do you do that? You reprogram your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind, it has no filter. It doesn't know what's true and what's not. So you hear enough people, like Sammy was saying, tell you the product is expensive, you start to believe the product is expensive when it's not. It's cheaper than going fast food, you know? So that's why I say, like, really be honest and real with yourself and take some time and think about, what do I really believe? And then if you need to change that, then, you know, we can work on changing that. Then you got to change your language. You got to get around people that have those beliefs, so those beliefs become your own. So yeah, definitely, like, it's okay. Like, wherever your belief is right now, that's okay. But knowing where your belief is the starting point, so that you can raise your belief, and that will raise your action, which will raise your results. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about that at all? And also know this goes completely hand in hand with selling the product as well. If you're doing a wellness profile, if you're on your day four follow-up after they've done a 3-day trial, and you believe that the product is expensive, then even if you're saying, you know, this is what it costs, what you're telling them is this is expensive product. And you're not going to, you'll get people that just buy, oh, okay, well, I'll just take the tea, or I'll just have the Formula One, you know. But, like, what do you really believe? Do you really believe the product is expensive? If you do, it's okay. Let's change that. Let's raise your belief. And if you need help with that, that's what we're here for, is to help you raise your belief. Because action is everything, but what's behind action? Your belief system. In everything that you do, there's a belief system behind that. Okay? And this business is no different. So this is something that Kurt O'Connell said down at LDW. He didn't say, I'm very uncomfortable right now. I did that for Martina, even though I know it's not The Office, Martina, but I thought it was fun.
Oh, it's not The Office?
No, it's not The Office.
I thought it was.
But he said, if discomfort comes with change, then change and growth can be measured by my level of comfort. So I'm going to read that again and just think about it. If discomfort comes with change, then change and growth can be measured by my level of comfort. So my question to you is, when was the last time you felt uncomfortable? And I know we talk about growth and change a lot in this business, but if discomfort comes with change and you're not feeling any discomfort, ask yourself how much change and growth is really going on there. So this was a concept that Kurt was training on. It was phenomenal. And it goes right along with recruiting as well, because most people get uncomfortable with recruiting. So let's just talk about a couple things. One, understand it's a part of this business. This is point number 2, but I think I should have that as number 1. It is your business. It is part of your industry. Recruiting people is an important aspect of what you do. Otherwise, all you're doing is selling product. And that's wonderful. If that's what you want to do to make your income, awesome. But if you want to make career level residual income, recruiting is a part of your business and a part of your industry. So you need to learn to recruit with the same desire and just as quickly as you wanted to learn how to sell product. And that's probably a concept that we don't talk about enough with a brand new person, is making sure they understand the kind of business they're getting into. In a direct sales, multi-level marketing business, recruiting is crucial. Duplicating yourself, not cloning yourself, but duplicating. There's a difference there between cloning and duplicating. But duplicating yourself, there's only one way to do that. You need people to duplicate you, right? So understanding that as a part of your business, it's your industry, it's the industry that we work in, and just becoming okay with that and understanding I need to learn how to do it, and I don't have to be good at it at first. You know, like, you weren't good at making a shake when you first started. You weren't good. I'm still not great at making level 3 teas because I don't do it enough. But you recruit enough, you talk to enough people, then it'll happen. I mean, you just naturally, you will get better. It's just the way it works. Anything you practice, you will get better. So now I want to hear from you guys. What are some of the fears, the common fears? And it doesn't necessarily have to be your fears if you don't want to share your fears. If you would share your fears, I think it would be really helpful for everyone. But just unmute yourself, share some of the either the common or your personal fears about recruiting.
And guys, sometimes you don't even have to use the language recruiting. What you're doing is you're providing somebody an opportunity to change their life. whether it's $50 that buys their kids brand new pair of shoes, or it's $150 that pays for their electric bill that month, or it's $6,000 that replaces their $70,000 a year salary income. Like, that's what you're recruiting for, is an opportunity. And that's what you're giving to them. Because for me, the word recruiting, like, I'll let you guys know, it makes me uncomfortable. That word does. Like, and that's just a fear of mine for some reason, that I have a negative connotation with that word. But for me, giving a mom an opportunity to buy her kids new shoes, I mean, like, that's a big freaking deal. I mean, that's me worth asking the question of recruiting a mom, because that's exactly what I'm doing, you know? So, yeah, somebody else can share now. Sorry, that gets to my heart right away. Yeah, Cliff, take it, man.
I think one of the fears out there dealing with recruiting is because when you see a lot of these other companies, multi-level marketing, and some of them that may not necessarily be legit, that's the big push on a lot of those other ones, is recruiting. Like, that's, you know, a real pyramid scheme is, you know, recruit. That's how you make money. You know, it doesn't have a lot to do with your sales. It's just all about getting people. And when you get people, you get more money and things like that. So a lot of people, when they're approached by direct sales or multi-level marketing, they're approached with that connotation. Somebody's trying to come recruit me, so they get a negative just feeling about it. And so then getting into Herbalife, you know, I don't know, I can't speak for anybody else, but, you know, prior to Herbalife, I experienced a lot of different multi-level people that try to just come recruit. So, you know, you just hear that. So then you're like, okay, I don't want to be that guy that I didn't like, that was just trying to recruit type person. So that's my 2 cents.
That's awesome, Cliff. And the one thing that people in the world are going to know that's different about us and what we do is your heart and the relationship that you build with them. Because they're going to know right away whether you're coming at them for money to recruit them because you need a person, or whether you really care about them, whatever it is for them. Like, they're going to know the difference if your heart's really in it. Like Darren said, like, people know. Like Cliff said, he could feel that he was being recruited to be a number on a chart. Like, he knew, you know? And so that's where, like, you got to have feelings, guys. I mean, sometimes they get a little overwhelming, but that's what people want to feel, are feelings. Even when they're being recruited, they don't even know.
Oh, and another thing, you just reminded me when you said that, like you said, I could always feel that I was getting recruited, but then something that you said too here a little bit ago was not necessarily using the word recruit, but talking about giving people an opportunity, or, you know, the opportunity to change their lives. So what got me into Herbalife was, you know, talking to Mike. He didn't ever try to recruit me. He presented an opportunity. Like, that was the whole thing. It wasn't about recruiting, like, you're on my team, you know, but it was, again, presenting an opportunity to change my life, to, you know, just that difference, just instead of, you know, recruiting. And I can feel it. Like, he's not trying to I'm not just a number. He's actually trying to show me how I can change my life, you know? So it was opportunity.
Wow, that's powerful, Cliff.
Did everybody freeze?
Are we frozen, guys? Can you see us?
Okay.
No? Okay, good. Awesome.
All right, just Cliff's frozen.
Sorry, Cliff.
Yeah.
Oh, Cliff is froze.
And guys, you know, recruiting is just like selling in the same aspect of, okay, in the sales industry, all you're doing is taking someone who needs something and you're providing them with what they need and making that match happen. It's the same way with what we do when we're recruiting people. If you guys don't like that word, a different word. But all you're doing is you have something to provide. You have something of value to offer somebody, and there's people looking for that value. So you just bring those two together. That's all it is. And, you know, don't overthink it. Don't get weird about it. You know, some of you guys were in the club and met Marcus tonight. First time I'd ever met him. But, you know, he's a young guy. He's a car salesman here in town. I met him today for the first time. He's going to join the team. He's going to come out to Kansas City with us. Now we'll see what he really does. Who knows? But he sent me a text message afterwards, said it was a pleasure meeting with you, Mike. You really are a good man. I can't wait to get started. And so if he felt like I was recruiting him for my own reasons, do you think he would have had that same feeling? Absolutely not. Like, we sat down, and even before we sat down, I already knew what he wanted because I was asking him those questions before we even met. So who else? What are some other fears? Cliff gave a really common one. What are some other fears you guys have about recruiting or offering the opportunity to people?
I don't necessarily have this fear, but one that I hear is, well, what if they say no? Or what if they ask me a question that I don't know an answer to? Those are ones that I hear somewhat with some of my new team. So it's interesting perspective when we kind of get caught up in what if they say no? Okay, go on to the next one. I mean, to me, it's no big deal. A no is, okay, great. There's another opportunity somewhere else. Or no just means no right now, not in a month or 2 months or whatever the case might be. But those are two that I typically hear more than anything else.
Yeah, very, very common one. And if you were to dig a little deeper in that, probably really what they're saying is, I'm afraid of rejection. If you dug, and even if you dug a little deeper to what Cliff shared about, people have, they've felt like they've been recruited before, or other companies do this, other companies do that. If you dig a little deeper there, you'd probably find you're worried about what people think. So if you can always dig a little deeper into these fears and figure out what it really is, and that's where you can handle it.
That whole thing about recruiting, though, corporate America does the exact same thing. When they're looking to fill a position, they're recruiting an applicant pool to interview to fill a position. So it's no different from the corporate America, as you couldn't see my air quotes, but those were air quotes. It's no different from corporate America as far as what we're trying to do. The only difference is we are looking for a certain type person to fill our team, and we're doing it from a different standpoint of not a corporate America structure, but it's the exact same type of approach, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And the crazy thing is that when we go for a job interview, who gets to decide whether or not I get that job? The manager does. They make the decision for me. When I provide an opportunity to Martina, she gets to decide whether or not she takes it. I don't make that decision for her. And that part can be hard sometimes. It's like, oh man, I don't know how to make a decision for myself that could drastically change my life forever. Like, that's kind of scary, And so, so for me, to share one of my fears about recruiting is that I will fail that person. And it's so weird because that's a me statement. Like, I'm talking to you, but my fear is that I will fail you, and then I will let you down, and I will not be the person you need me to be in order to be successful. And that comes from confidence, my self-esteem, my belief in myself. But for me personally, that's why that side of me needs to be developed, because I doubt myself so much that I don't even give the person a chance to say yes because I don't ask the question. And that's a really big fear that a lot of people struggle with. And so, yeah, I just thought I would share that.
That's good. I've never heard you say that before.
I know, because I'm trying not to cry now.
Anyone else have any fears that they like to share about recruiting or sharing the business opportunity with people? Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Moving forward, understanding that those fears they're normal, they're real. The average person coming in this business has those same fears that you may or may not have. But what you can't do is you can't give power to them. You can't give power to those fears, because as soon as you do, the activity stops or it never gets started. And then you won't grow a business. You won't grow a multi-level marketing business. Now, you could still do a retail business, but not a multi-level marketing business. So, okay, here's another concept. So we're talking recruiting concepts here, and I'll speed it up because it's already 9. So, but recruiting is a result of what you're attracting. So think about this. What are you attracting? You're attracting what you are. Okay? That's the reality. You attract what you are. And a lot of times you attract one level lower than what you are. And I'm talking role here. I'm not talking identity. Everyone's amazing. Everyone's identity. No one's identity is in question. No one's value is in question. I'm talking strictly role here. But you attract what you are. And just ask yourself, would I want 10 of me on my team? If I could 100% duplicate myself to the T right now, would I want 10 of me on my team? And if not, what would you like to see different in your team? And really, it's a holding a mirror up to yourself and saying, okay, this is what I need to change in myself. If I attract what I am, then I need to become more. So in order to attract more, you have to become more. All the way down to things like, how do I talk? How do I act? How do I treat people? How do you look? What do you believe? All of these things, if you attract what you are, you need to be asking yourself these questions and level up. If you're wanting to attract the 6-figure earner, the top guy, CEO in your business, then you should probably raise yourself to that level. Like if you attract what you are, now you may somehow occasionally hit a home run and, you sponsor an Aramis in your group 3 levels deep and he just blows the business up. But generally speaking, 99% of the time you attract what you are. Okay. So this is another concept. We're talking another concept. And so the sower, we talk about sowing and reaping a lot on our team. And I think it's really important that we understand that concept because it's in every aspect of life, not just this business. But this is really a really good concept to come to grips with and be 100% okay with. Okay, and it's the law of averages. So a sower in the ancient days was a person who planted crops, but very simply said, he got the ground ready, had a bag of seed, he'd walk across the ground and sow seeds. But the thing about a sower is that a sower understands the law of averages. And us in this business have to understand and be okay with this law. Darren, there he is writing on the screen again. Okay, so the first, there's 4 things that could happen as we're sowing seeds. As a sower is sowing the seeds, there's 4 outcomes, 4 possible outcomes. The first one, the seed that he sows falls by the wayside and the birds get it. And understand that the birds are going to get part of the seed. It's inevitable. It's going to happen every time you sow seeds. So what is that? There's many influences or many birds that pull people away from a good idea. You had a conversation with Joe, last week. And Joe, I heard you say you're looking for some extra income. We're looking for people like you. And Joe's like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, well, why don't you come next Tuesday night and we're going to share more information about it. Oh, that sounds great. I'll be there. And then Joe doesn't show up. What happened?
The birds got him.
The birds got him. The brother-in-law said, oh, sales, you can't do sales. You're not getting into sales, are you? Or, some friends like you, my great aunt's brother's dog's godmother did that 20 years ago and it didn't work. That thing doesn't work. You just never know. These influences influence people and they fall to the wayside. And here's the thing. Don't go chasing the birds. As soon as you go chasing the birds, then you leave the field and you stop sowing. So another thing that happens is that the seed that you sow falls on rocky ground where the soil is shallow. So what's that mean? It means the seed begins to take root, but then dies out as soon as it gets hot. People quit. And it's just one thing you're going to have to be okay with in this business. People will quit, and it hurts. And especially when you want it worse for them than they've ever wanted it for themselves, and then they quit, and you see their potential, but they still quit. Just be okay with that. Like, you learn that as part of this business, and that the roots aren't deep enough because they fell on rocky ground, that as soon as it started getting hot, the roots weren't deep enough, and they, burn up, they quit. And the third one, your seed could fall on thorny ground. So once the plant starts to grow, the thorns come up and they choke it. So what's that mean? They start to grow and they get choked out by excuses. We all have excuses, guys. And everyone's excuse, their own excuse, is better than everyone else's. But in reality, it's the same. It's 100% the same. Everyone's got them. And it's just a matter of helping people overcome them. If they're willing to overcome their excuses, their obstacles, then they can move forward. But I guess I should put it this way, if it's an excuse, they will not overcome it. If it is an obstacle, you can help them overcome it. If it's an excuse, they're going to hold on to that. If it's an obstacle, you can help them get over it. So if it's an excuse and they quit, it could be they don't have the time, or they don't have the money, or family reasons, or personal reasons, like it's personal, like they don't believe in themselves, or whatever these different excuses are. And we've all got them. I've got excuses. Martina's got excuses. Keetra's got excuses. Darren's got excuses. And the thing is, like, I feel that my excuse is better than everyone else's, but it's not. It's exactly the same.
So kind of like an excuse is, I'm not looking for a way out. I'm not looking for you to give me a solution. Like, I'm done. It's there. You can't get through this wall. An obstacle, if you come at me with a solution, I can kind of see over the wall a little bit. Like, maybe I can. Maybe I can make my time more intentional with my kids, and then therefore I won't feel like I'm a bad mom. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of gives you that there's a solution on the other side. I just need a little help. Like, an excuse versus an obstacle. Like, an excuse, my mind is decided. I'm done. It's over. That's it. So. And
then the fourth part of the seed that he sows falls on good ground. And it always will, guys. It always will. It always will. It always will. It always will. Always remember, guys, the seed will always fall on good ground. It's the law of averages. You share a good idea often enough, it'll fall on good people, because it's the law of averages, and the law is the law. It demands it. But the problem is, people don't sow enough seed. They go chase the birds on the first 4 seeds that fell out of their bag that the birds got. They don't sow enough seeds to let it even fall on good ground. But it always will, guys. It always will, if you don't stop sowing. Okay. So any questions about any of that? Let me stop. Is that solid, good for you guys? Does that help? Does it, I know it can be kind of challenging. Some of those things can be kind of challenging and maybe not always real comfortable to hear because sometimes it's facing some things that most people don't like to face things like that. But does anyone have any input on any of that? Anything they would like to share? Or anything at all? Any questions? Okay, so we're good. Okay, awesome. So,
I'll share something real fast.
Okay.
So, guys, something to think about, like when you're planting all these seeds and some of the birds take them, whatever, all the 4 things happen. The ones that grow and stick around, like, they were meant to be in your business. They were meant to be a part of your lives. The ones that the birds got them, like, I'm thankful the birds got them, because they probably just weren't meant. They just didn't line up for what was meant to be in my life. And I still love them, those seeds with those birds, and I still love the birds, but it just wasn't meant to be. And that's okay. And I'm happy for them and the things they do and the things they drink and the way they feel. Like, I'm happy for them. But, like, y'all are our seeds, just so you know, that grew. And I'm grateful for that. I'm very, very, very grateful. So So yeah, it's just meant to be. But I won't.
Okay, so here's our Here's our homework, guys. So chapters 13 through 16, we're getting close to the end of the book. And then taking some time and write out your beliefs. Now, let me go back to that if you need to jot down.
We can put this slide in the group if you want,
Yep.
or a picture.
Sure. But these are the beliefs I want you to take some time on. Beliefs about our industry, direct sales, multi-level marketing, beliefs about Herbalife, beliefs about our team, beliefs about our products.
Add one, beliefs about yourself. Like, you believe you're good enough. Do you believe you're worth it? Do you believe that you're an awesome leader and you're fantastic and you're an entrepreneur and you're a business owner? Like, what do you believe about yourself? That's all.
Okay. So everyone clear on that? Clear on homework? Clear on tonight? Any questions about anything that we went over tonight?
And guys, we only have 2 classes left. 2 left. And then we'll have another graduation party. Ooh, ooh. So exciting.
Will there be summer school for those that were real close to graduating?
Of course there will be. Of course. Always an option. Always. That's funny.
Only for Eagles fans.
Oh, both of your arms went up at the same time.
Because we know you're slow learners, so it's okay.
Stop it. Are you recording?
Yeah, at least we got it figured out. It's all right.
I guess I'm talking to the Super Bowl champions. I can't
Right.
really say that.
I don't know why you smack talk them. Like, they won.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you for getting on tonight. I hope some of that information for you. I hope it helps, and take some of what you learned, implement it this week, and really take some time and really dig into your beliefs and be real with yourself and what you really believe. That way you can see where your beliefs need to be adjusted. Raise your level of belief will raise your activity, which will raise your results. So awesome, guys. Have an amazing night. Thank you so much for jumping on, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
Bye. Do we stop recording?